We are here with the PD Skillz Show, episode 2. Now, you guys are going to find this a little odd. If you follow me on social media, you may often hear me refer to this man as a piece of shit. But today we're going to put that aside, and I will refer to him as the Pro Wrestling Ontario Openweight Champion and the NWX Champion. We are here today with that piece of shit, Tyler Hill. What's up?
What's going on, buddy? How you doing today?
It's Easter weekend, so nice and full.
Feel
a little burnt out, but that's nothing new. How about you?
Same thing here. I just got back from an Easter dinner. Delicious. Ate probably more ham than I should have, and I got my dog laying on my lap because he misses me. Get out of here.
Did you at least bring the dog some leftovers?
I always bring the dog leftovers.
Nice.
Always.
At least your dog doesn't think you're a piece of shit.
Oh,
then.
No, man. Dog's big fat ass, big suck.
That's at least good to know, is that you're not a piece of shit to your dog. I appreciate that.
Well, good. I mean, I don't need all the animal people after me. That's good boy.
So, I know you've been kind of keeping busy lately. I've been keeping, tabs on the social media. In a time where a lot of people haven't been keeping busy during the pandemic, you seem matter. We're all been wrestling.
I haven't really been stopping too much. It seems like every time everybody seems to shut down, we always find some kind of loophole or some kind of area where we're able to still run this and that. So CWF's been airing stuff for YouTube, and I've done a little bit of stuff with PWO. No Ring North is running some stuff. So I think the longest layoff I actually had from wrestling was about a month and a half, maybe 2 months, and I'm still been going.
How many batches do you think you've had since now a year ago we shut down?
A year ago, probably 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, well over 10 or 15.
And is that everything been fanless or?
Yes and no. The last little bit, I think we've only been able to have like a maximum 10 fans there. But like I said, that's just for like TV recordings or YouTube recordings or whatever. So you don't really need a lot of stuff there. But No Ring North's been pretty empty. You know that you're on the card there.
Absolutely.
That's what
I know you're a piece of shit.
And PWO's like I said, a little slow, but they're finding their own way to stay active during COVID. So it's been fun.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's nice to keep busy. I mean, not a lot of people can say that, and that kind of segues me into something here. I mean, it was just a few short years ago that I actually met you when I wrestled you for the first time, and before that, I honestly hadn't heard too much of Tyler Hill, and now you're one of the busiest guys I think during the pandemic in Ontario, in my opinion. How did that all take off? Was there a point where you just found yourself getting booked like crazy? Like, when did things pick up?
I think things just kind of fell into my lap. I didn't really need to do a whole lot of looking. It seems like just before the pandemic was happening, Chris Thorne there, or Frank Rickman, he came up to me and said, "This is the idea I got." And I said, "Man, that's what you want to do during the pandemic. You didn't get away with it." I say, "Let's go for it." So, he ran a lot more. Like we're I think taping 2 shows a night, and we're doing every other week kind of thing. But like I said, right now we gotta kind of see what's going on with this new lockdown and everything else that's kind of happening. I don't know what the whole thing is with being able to run or not or whatever. So we got to figure all that out. We might be at a hold for about a month or so, but
yeah.
Besides that, like I said, we'll see. And then No Ring just kind of took off. I think Chad saw a bunch of other stuff on YouTube, and I think when Sean passed away, he had a bit of an idea about running these shows in the middle of nowhere and doing these things. So I think it just kind of it all worked out right as the pandemic was kind of kicking off.
Now, obviously, like, I've done the No Ring North thing with you, and that's a blast. Like, it's it's just the homies around. It's like it's more Fight Club than Death Proof was, really, when you think about it. But like, that's one thing, because we're there, we're making noise, we're jawing each other, giving each other shit. But like these empty like warehouse arena shows, how do you find doing them? Like, is it like weird to do?
It's weird. It's you don't really realize how much you rely on a crowd until you don't have a crowd there to rely on. It's pretty much brought the best out of me, I would say. You have to do it, especially when you got 10 people there. Like,
yeah,
it's very okay. I'm going to say back in the day, I used to do these death tours with CWF back in the day. And
I know of them.
yeah. And some of those venues you go to, there's only 10 or 15 people there. Sometimes you go and there's 150 there, but you know, so, and it's, I thank somebody for letting me do those, because like I said, it'd be really, really rough if I didn't know how to work in front of 10 people. It's, it can be rough. I haven't been done doing that in a while, but like I said, it's been adjustment. I think it's brought the best out of everybody.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, and I'm sure a lot of us have had those days. I mean, even before this, where we've had to, you know, perform in front of 10 people, whether it was, you know, a poorly promoted show or just, you know, a show that had no business happening in the first place. But yeah, it definitely, that's definitely a different environment. And you've worked somewhere it's like zero crowd too, right?
Oh, I've been places where nobody showed up. I went to Sudbury one time, and literally we set the whole show up, everything else, drove the 3 or 4 hours to get there, whatever it was to get all the way up there. And 2 people showed up. It was just, I think they all thought it was a different weekend, or something happened, and it was just
something always happened. It's never just, you know, never a dead show. There's got to be a mistake.
Well, I remember the promoter looked at me and he's like, "Do you even want to go out there? What do you want to do?" And me and my opponent just looked at each other, and we had a banger, man. Like, we went out there, we were doing slingshots into tables and all kinds of stuff.
You know what? I've seen both coins, you know, both sides of the coin on that one, where some people are like, "Oh, you know, why are you killing yourself for those, you know, 2 people?" In this case, but man, like usually they say 10 people, but like they paid the same amount as those people that in a bigger crowd would have paid. Why are they getting ripped off? There's that mentality. So I always appreciate when someone goes out and gives her, regardless of the size of the crowd.
I haven't always, if I was in the wrestling business for money, I probably wouldn't be in the wrestling business. So like I said, those 2 people, they bought their tickets. So I mean, why not give them a hell of a show, right? I mean, at least they can go back and tell their friends. Maybe next time they'll get the dates right.
No,
I mean, but, you know, it's one of those things. I might have just brought another 2 people to that crowd.
I mean, if that's the case and they had the wrong weekend or whatever it was, like, could you imagine pissed off people showing up the wrong weekend?
Oh, no, imagine it did sell out or something, like 200 or 300 people, and all of a sudden there's a lineup, no people there. Good.
Some fucking carny hears about it and books a show the next week just to capitalize on the crowd.
Right. I just made a quick Gino, thanks.
So in the, I mean, not just like the last like pandemic era, like I'd say like overall in the last 5 years, like, because you've been putting in a lot of matches. Who have you been, let's say your top 3 favorite guys to work with?
Yeah, especially since I've been to like the Death Proof, like PWO, really getting to these outside shows and stuff. I would say, okay, my favorite match that I've been out was probably me and Sean, the 10,000 thumbtacks match. And I'm not just saying that because that was a crazy match.
I've watched that match. I actually thoroughly enjoyed that match. You guys
we absolutely beat the shit out of each other, man.
Those matches, sometimes those matches are like a fucking cheat code, though. Wouldn't you agree? Like when you're in there with someone who's like a brother to you, it's like you have access to a whole level of violence nobody else does.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So so not just because I'm on the podcast, but you're either second or third. When we went out there and brought me, dude, I threw my crutch across the ring when you're on the top rope and just smashed you in the head with it. Like, or what was it? You gave me that neck breaker, and my spine landed right on those 2x2s.
Yeah.
Oh man. But like I said, just in general, fun. Always the Sean and Cash matches are always good. I had a good match with, I had a good feud with Jake Jones and PWO. We did a bunch of things with April Jones, where I was doing the whole like abusive heel card, and it was a lot of fun. We did a makeout thing, and it was super good spot.
So like in that feud with Jake Jones, did you guys dabble in any of like what we considered your usual hardcore stuff?
So I gave him, I think, a spine buster onto like 4 chairs that were set up like a platform. Yeah. That we did, like I said, I raked the barbed wire off his head. He took barbed wire, which I didn't know if he was going to want to do any of that. But the finish of the match, remember, it was April Jones finally gets her hands on me, kind of finish after all these shows, and she grabbed my crutch. Now, I don't know if we're gonna get in trouble for this or not, but I remember we were in the back, and I just told her, just crush me with this thing, man.
Just fucking give her.
Just go. Don't stop. I don't care who's around. Just keep swinging it. Just keep swinging, and I'll make sure that everything's good. So we went out there, and I was not expecting her to swing it. Like, she started swinging it. Like, she hit me with the first one full tilt, like right in the spine. And I was just like, oh no.
It just fucking crushed you, eh?
Oh man. I remember she hit me a few times. I needed a breather. So I went to the ground. I was like kind of kicking her back. And she just stops and just pelts me with one right in the stomach.
She just fucking thinks you're selling. Meanwhile, you're like, I didn't sign up for this. This is what I thought was coming.
I know. The whole end of it was she finally cracks me in the head, and I go down, and I was so terrified. She was swinging that thing. So I was like, I'm so scared to take this thing to the head. But like I said, it was super safe. It was super good. But I remember I was sore the next day off that one. So like I said, that whole feud was pretty good. So like I said, there's been a few things. Obviously, winning the PWO belt was a big highlight in the last 6 years. I mean, it was cool to see that that those guys in the management there had nice hopes for me there. So. And, I've been the longest champ they've had there, so that's pretty cool, too.
And it's my understanding that in PWO, you don't portray a piece of shit.
No, you know what? I used to portray a piece of shit. Like I said, I was smacking April Jones around, and it was pretty good. But then it was weird. I came out one show, and I remember I think it was with Corey Stone, or it was Corey Stone or Mark Wheeler, one of those two. And I came out.
Yeah, because when I went there, you weren't on the heel side of the coin anymore. Like I came. You telling me what you just told me? Like, I had no idea. When I was there, you were fucking white meat baby face.
And I think it was that feud. And then I had a good tournament. We did the tournament for the Iron Cup tournament, and I remember going all 3 rounds in that. And we did some cool stuff. And I think it was just the way everything lined up for me in PWO after, like, just had a nice match with Corey Stone, that I had a good feud with Jake Jones, and then it was the tournament, and everything just kind of, the fans, I think, just gained a little bit of respect. I think that's all that kind of was, but it was easy. I didn't really have to play a face. I just started licking my barbed wire, and the kids and the people went nuts, and I went with it. So turned from heel to face without even expecting to. So it was kind of neat. It was a cool little transition. Never had that before.
Now with when you're doing these no fan shows, though, transition into that, like, because from what I've seen on those ones, now that's where you're playing the bad guy, and how do you find that with no one to really feed off of?
So, I'm not gonna be egotistical when I say this, but I think for the shows that I work for, I'm one of the more aggressive wrestlers that are on the card usually. And I think that helps a lot with being a heel. I find there's a lot of guys, like, I'm not gonna name names, but there's a lot of guys who are super smooth, and these guys can work, but they're missing that oomph. And I think that oomph is what I bring to the table a little bit. I go out there, my punches are slightly connecting, and my forearms are tight. My kid, what I mean? Things just
but I mean,
it's a little bit more of a
tough business.
style.
I mean, it's not like you're going out there and absolutely smashing the guy. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of contact. If anything, that's one of the things I appreciate watching. Like, you don't look like you're going through the motions. Like, it's believable.
Yeah, well, exactly. And I think the fact that I've had a lot of experience with this in the CWF, especially without the fans there, you learn a lot more how to tell more of a story. And I think that's what people are missing now in wrestling, is people can play a crowd, sure, but they're missing the story. Like, you got these dancers that are on TV, or we got dancers or anything else. Those dancers tell a story, And in wrestling, it should be the same way. And I think that's an art that people are losing. And I think it's an art that I've been slowly learning a lot more since there hasn't been fans. And that's what I'm so excited when fans come back, man, because to do everything that I've got to do with fans, I'm hoping it works out.
Yeah, and I mean, when you've been doing it without fans, and you're keeping that intensity up when you've got, almost no fuel, so to speak, like, then, once you add that fuel to the fire, once fans come back, like, it's gonna be great. And that's one of your best assets, if not your best asset, is your intensity. I mean, fun and games, and a little bit of seriousness, and shoot, I mean, I call you a piece of shit, but I mean, that's because when I watch you, like, that's what I believe.
If you didn't know me, probably outside of the business, you would think I'm the biggest piece of shit.
I I watched you run Tyler Arrow down with your car and pull a knife out on everybody, and you look like you meant every single fucking word of it.
Yeah, man, sometimes you get a little lost in the moment, but I mean, yeah, like I said, those No Ring North shows, man, they are huge for learning, man. Like, if you can work outside without a ring, tell a story, and make people just believe in that, it's an art that's missing. Like I said,
Well, yeah, I mean, you do those No Ring North shows, and everything you learn the first month of school is out the door because none of that's there.
Oh yeah, and like I said, you don't want to be bumping on grass and stuff like that. So you're learning even a different style and actually how to like actually work compared to just do a big flashy Canadian destroyer off the top rope and hope to get a crowd reaction.
And like you can't start with a lockup even. So I mean, right from the word go, it's a different experience.
Well, exactly. Like and to come up with something different. Like, and that's the thing with No Ring North that I think I liked the most when we were doing
the cinematic intros.
That, and every match was a little different. Like, especially when the Jer filmed it all and everything.
Yeah.
Every match, like one match is they all had different feels. Like mine had more of a cinematic movie thrillery style feel to it, especially with the end of it and everything. Like I said, I'm super stoked to see hopefully when all this stuff clears up, hopefully we can do another one of those No Ring North shows.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. But yeah, we had like that where it was more of a cinematic style with a lot of cuts, a lot of like drama. And then like myself and Shaw, where it was more of like your traditional style brawl.
That match was so fun to watch too. I remember watching it out. Well, there it was crazy, but I remember afterwards, like when it came up on YouTube, I was like, "Yo, that match was nuts, man!"
And it was just tiny. It was just a little match. I mean, we're both pretty big boys. We don't mind bumping around or taking a couple hard hits, and like that was a lot of fun. And then you had the Shiloh Kyle Boone match, right? And that was,
I love those guys.
Yeah, man. That was like a comedy match, but like obviously, dating, they beat the fuck out of each other.
They definitely went home and gave each other massages that night.
Absolutely, or didn't talk to each other. One of the fucking two. It was either a really good night or a really bad night. And I mean, I drove them home. You'd think I know, but
dude, it kind of seemed like Shiloh was giving Boone a couple of the licks there, like he did something wrong.
You never know. But I mean, hey, as we say that we have that advantage when we get in the ring with friends. I mean, you get in the ring with your partner, you've got that same advantage. You can do that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, the chemistry is even better than when you're just brothers in there,
Yeah. Now, No Ring North, like, because that's something we're both doing. What would you rather, like, when things go back to normal, what would you rather see? Some sort of outdoor atmosphere for it with fans, or the original idea of that no ring bar style?
I mean, I would love to see the bar style just because we've only done the outside thing. Like, the outside thing's cool, and that I hope is something that he doesn't lose. I hope that's something that just keeps happening. But I would love to see something like an abandoned warehouse if you could, or so like something that's really
what we tried. We tried, like, we were talking about venues, tried to find places. Like, I even told him when him and I sat down for an episode, I had even told him, I don't know if it made the cut or not, like if it made tape on the episode, but I was looking for a fucking boiler room because I wanted to do a nice throwback match. I thought that would have been the coolest shit. Like, I can't believe nobody's done that during the pandemic, a throwback to Taker Mankind, the boiler room brawl.
Oh yeah. Well, like I said, where do you find it though? Like, the ideas for it are sweet and awesome, and if you could pull it off, great. But especially during a pandemic, where are you supposed to find an abandoned building or
well, I mean, you'd think, actually, I would think it'd be easier just because, I mean, people have space they probably can't use for business, but it's a hard sell, right?
Well, how do you sell guys who are just gonna fight each other like a fight club in your warehouse or boiler room? I mean, like, it's like I said, it's tough. I mean, they're out there. Like I said, I've come across some things, but it's hard. It's tough.
What would like, because we've been doing this No Ring North thing, and we talk about like trying to find different scenarios and all that. Now, have you been keeping up with like mainstream wrestling product during like the pandemic?
A little bit. I've been following it. Like I said, for me, like it's been a hard adjustment for me to watch it without crowd. Like WWE's
Have you
doing this
watched a
whole
lot of like the cinematic matches though, the backstage
yeah.
matches?
So I watched the obviously the Edge and Orton one. I watched. I remember
Yeah.
Gargano. I remember Gargano and
Ciampa, the one final breath.
yeah, man, that
Yeah.
was sweet. The Taker Styles match was awesome.
What
But
would
yeah,
you say, like, what would you say is probably your favorite out of it, or even like, you know, a couple honorable mentions even?
the Taker Styles one was probably my favorite of all the ones that have happened so far, just because, yeah, you know what, it was very cinematic, but another way, it was still cool to see Taker kind of go like one
Yeah,
more
like
time,
that was,
you know,
that gave us something that everybody wanted, like to see Taker
the bad
in
boy
that limelight
thing.
and succeeding and really like giving us the Undertaker that like we want him to be. So like that was really cool. And I think
Yeah,
just that alone pushes it over for the top.
yeah, for
Like,
sure.
have you watched any of the like AEW stuff in the last year, really?
Like I said, I've been following. I haven't really seen a lot of their cinematic stuff. I watched
Did
the hardcore match that uh
the
Thunder
street?
Rosa and
Oh yeah, that match is a
yeah,
fucking,
that
that was a
was.
fucking banger. Did you
I've heard
catch?
people shit talking a little bit. Honestly, number one, you don't see girls do that anymore, and that's like honestly to see them
No, I mean
actually
we're
go out
spoiled. I
there.
mean we grew up in an area with Lufisto, so I mean we're spoiled. We're used to that. But like
The TV's
I
not.
doubt that most people are used to getting to see that. So that's a fucking treat.
Yeah, and they crushed it, man. Like everything they did, I was mind blown. Good for them.
Yeah,
Like
I've seen like a lot of people like on wrestling forums, group stuff like that, that do like tournaments and like, you know, for fan favorites. And one that I think that doesn't get a lot of love just because a street fight is something that is done outside of the pandemic era. But I think my favorite match in the last year has to be if I don't know if you've seen it, Best Friends versus Proud and Powerful there, the backstage brawl there, the parking lot brawl.
yeah, I think I've seen bits and pieces. I didn't watch the whole thing.
You got to watch the match back.
I'll probably okay. I'll watch that.
It is absolutely fucking beautiful. Like it's a
Yeah.
great match. They went hard. Like it was perfect. And that's why I said like a lot of people I think sleep on it because we see parking lot brawls even in a regular wrestling era. But that one to me like stood out as probably one of the better matches.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I mainly focus on the Netflix things like that, so I don't really follow mainstream TV. But like I said, I kind of watch what I can off the YouTube,
Yeah.
and it's only you only see bits and pieces when you do it that way. So, like I said, I can probably find it now. I'll probably go and take a look. I'm sure somebody has it up.
Now I've actually this one I just took a look at the sheet because I like to tell people, you know, what I got coming up on the show and, you know, show them if they're not familiar with the guest or who it is. Here's a question coming to you about the Canadian bad boy name.
Oh
Where
no,
where did it start?
that honestly, that was just something I've never even heard it before. Okay, and then I used it, and I remember I got a little bit of heat for it when I first started using it. I think Sean Spears had that name
Mm-hmm.
a long time ago. But like I said, I was just in between stuff. I remember I was doing this Killian vampire gimmick with Thorne for a while, and I hated it. I absolutely putting face paint on. I was getting acne. It was terrible. I hated every
Oh
moment.
man.
So I mean, I was looking for something that could just be myself. I remember I was doing the Busted Knuckle show and I had a match with Amato and Sean and Amato were having a match, and I had to come out and do a promo. And Dan Orlando or Bill Blagel, that guy, he's sitting there, and like he could tell I was nervous. He comes up to me, he goes, "What are you nervous about?" He goes, "Go out there and just be yourself." He's like, "If I give you any advice, go out there and just be yourself. I'm telling you, it'll make a difference." So I went out there, I cut the promo. I thought it was awesome. I had a good promo, and then after that, the bad boy thing. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this out. And like I said, some people did not like it because I think, like I said, Spears was using it, but I
Well,
had
there's
no
Joey
idea.
Janela. So, and there's Joey Janela that uses the bad boy thing and is like, do you ever get flack from that comparison? Because I know you do it
No,
as the Canadian bad boy.
yeah, I've never once actually gotten real flack for it. I've gotten a couple mentions for it, but years ago, like when I was doing, like I said, I've been using that name now for 6-7 years now or whatever.
Okay.
So it's been a while, but Yeah.
I actually don't know how long Janela's been using it.
Oh, I've probably been using it longer than 6-7 years. Like, it's been a while that I've been.
But yeah, that's why it came up, because like a lot of people obviously watch the modern products. So when I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do the podcast with Tyler Hill, and then kind of showing the Canadian bad boy stuff comes up, like it's on your shirts, it's in you cut it in your promos, whatever the case is. So that came up, and I was like, I've kind of wondered, like, who was using the bad boy gimmick first.
I'm sure eventually.
But I didn't know Sean Spears, if that's rings true.
I found that out like a year later, and I didn't understand why I was getting flack for it. Everybody's like, "Oh, you can't believe you used that name," and I didn't understand it. And all of a sudden, I went on YouTube and just typed in the Canadian Bad Boy one day, and all this Sean Spears stuff came up, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like, I had no idea. Right? it was just like, well, you know what? It's already on stuff. Like, and nobody's really cared. I'm sure eventually one day down the line, I'm probably gonna have to stop using it, or I'm gonna have to change something up.
Well, everybody changes it up, freshens it up, and
it is.
Unless you're me, who tried to change it and freshen it up, and they're like, no.
Dude, you've had cool ideas though. Like, even the stuff you told me about with the shirts and this and that. You have some good ideas, man.
I have some good ideas, but the minute I try and stray away from being the fucking pothead guy, they're like, no, man, no, go.
Oh, but you do it so well.
Back in your box.
Well, what do you want to do? That's the thing, right? Like,
I just, I want to show that I have layers, man, like a fucking ogre.
I get that. Yeah, start getting onto those outside shows, man, and start trying your stuff out.
Yeah, no, especially in this era, it'd be a great time to try stuff out. But I mean, right now, I think if you're not on somebody's regular roster, you're not getting in. You know what I mean? This isn't the time to negotiate with new people. And
like I said, I haven't heard a whole lot. I know Thorne, even with his NWX shows, I understand the student shows, but you know what, man? If you're just looking to come down and show them what you can do and this and that, you can get on the show, man. Like I said, but it's mainly that, you know what I mean? You're coming down just to spicing your stuff up and show them what you can do.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. I just mean it's hard right now with everything, the restrictions going on. Like, even I feel bad for people that were just getting ready to get in the ring for the first time and itching, that's when you just usually show up places. But right now, fuck, if you're not cleared with a fucking temperature or nobody knows, like, you show up, they're like, the fuck are you doing here, right?
You go to the training, they have a gun they shoot you with right as soon as you walk the door.
Yeah, man. Like, right now, if you try to get into a show, like, and you're not already on the list and they don't know you, like, you're not clear, like, you're out of luck. It's not really the best time to just show up and like, hey guys, here I am. You got anything?
Yeah, like that. You know what, man? It's tough, but I think when everything opens up, everybody's going to be, I think, looking for something different and new, anyways. Like, everybody's going to almost start over in a way, unless you've been running shows through this thing. Like, I know, like, NSWs are on some stuff, and like I said, Thorne's running stuff.
PWO, I think, is going to be in a great position because they've run storylines throughout the whole thing.
Who's that?
PWO.
Yeah.
They've been super active. Like, that's a really great thing to see. So, I mean, must be, that's, what, good timing for you. I mean, being like their champion, like, you're their fucking top guy. And so, I mean, it's a good time to be in PWO. Like, they clearly care about their product and making sure there's some, continuation of the storylines and the product they put. And, they're really I find they're really giving back to the people. So, I mean, great place to spend your money when we come back.
Oh yeah, like I said, I've talked to the management there, and they've got some big ideas for when everything opens up. So
absolutely. I mean, I've only went to one of the like, I watch a lot of the stuff that they've been doing recently. I've seen a lot of the stuff online. I've only went to the one show live, which was the fucking skier incident there.
Man, I can't believe you just brought that up.
I had to. I mean, I was there.
That was
a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm not going to get into it because, like I said, it's not my fighter. And I've learned that lesson the hard way in the past. Stay out of other people's business. But I mean, it was just, I think, a big miscommunication, and I think that's what we're going to leave it at. And hopefully,
I'm content with leaving it at that for now.
And
That's the only show I've been to live, but they put a lot of work into their product. Like great t-shirts, the fucking belts look mint. Does anybody else like I get a real G there? Oh
Belts
fuck.
look mint,
There it is.
buddy.
Put it. I want you to put it up close because I want to see if this has got the same thing as the trios title. Like, give me the front plate.
Oh no,
For
this
those of you
is like
watching on YouTube, I'm sorry.
It's completely like it's full out. It's not engraved. It's actually like a plate on plate.
Yeah.
But
No. I know it's a good. I wanted to see like because I've seen the trios belts, so this doesn't have the same thing. I didn't know if the text work on it was consistent. The trios belts, they kind of have like a GTA vibe to me.
Oh, here. I don't know if you can
There
see
you
that.
are. Yeah, it's a different font. Like, do you know what I'm talking about with their trios titles though? Like the GTA font?
Yeah. No, this font looks. It's. You know what? I think it's just the fact that those ones are more engraved titles, and this one's more of a. I would say like plate on plate in a way. It really pops it. The font, I don't think like it's a little different, but I don't think the font is crazy different. I just think the other ones are more like I said, just pressed in compared to this one. It's a lot more just free.
All their fucking belts are sweet, all for their own different reasons.
Oh yeah, they are, man.
Like even the internet title that fucking Wade Allen's got there. That's fucking two shout outs. That's two shows I'm shouting him out in a row, by the way. You're welcome, Wade Allen.
That? Oh, Wade Allen, yeah, Wade's good.
But
Wade's
that
good
belt is fucking beautiful too. Like it's it's what an internet title needs to look like. That's
nobody deserves
really
that belt right now more than that guy, man. You got the internet champion and the internet guy. I mean, I love Wade. Wade's worked hard the last. Shout out to Wade.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Wade. That dude fucking works hard. And I mean, people are taking notice of it too.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, like I said, Thorne brought him on NWX, and I think he did pretty okay there. Like I said, everybody's got work to do. I mean,
well, even Alexander, who's a hot commodity right now, fucking I saw him pop up in Wade's comments about when life gets back to normal, wanting to do the wrestle. So that's a good look. That's a good nod to get.
Yeah, man. Oh, 100%. That's a good nod to get. I mean, he's one of the best around right now. So.
Yeah, and I like at first I didn't get it, and then I watched a couple of those promos, like his ones when he was going to the hospital and stuff.
Oh.
For the finger, like that shit. Like I didn't get it at first. It came off a little dry, and then I'm like, okay, this is fucking gold.
Oh yeah, man. Like I said, all this the running the internet and this and that, it's hilarious, man. Like it's great. Like I said, I think even with his promos, he stayed busy during the pandemic as well. Like I said, maybe not wrestling all the time, but he's made sure his face has been on social media.
Have you wrestled him before?
Wade, no. Honestly, I would love to get in the ring with Wade somewhere.
Maybe there's something they can do. That's something that'd be interesting. Champion versus champion.
I've already pitched that for
the internet versus the real world.
Hey man, if that's something PWO wants to run, that's something PWO wants to run. I'm down for it. So if we're still waiting on Matt Cash, PWO management, then throw Wade to the wolves. Give him a shot.
There you are. There it is. The challenge issued officially on the PD Skillz show. Champion versus champion. Make it happen. I'm sure the internet wants to see it.
Oh, the internet would love to see it.
Yeah.
In fact, just let us go. Blood, thumbtacks, bar. Let's just brawl it out. Me and Wade. Wade, I'm calling you out. Let's go.
There you go. It's what the internet wants to see. Wade Allen stepping into the hardcore realm of PWO openweight champion Tyler Hill.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In a piece of shit street fight.
Piece of shit street fight. Oh yeah. You know what though? I think that internet title would have to be on the line though. Because like I said, you said it. Those titles are nice, and I would love to have two hanging on my wall. So
you've got too many titles already. And speaking of which, where's your other title?
So we've had some fun with that in CWF and NWX. There, I hit Kyle Boone over the head with it and actually broke the belt.
Broke like the plate, like
the plate came. It's an old belt, but the plate came flying off, and it's under repairs right now. But for the last at least half a season of the adrenaline there, and then the last NWX show he just did, I've had a lot of fun just using the plate and getting to like do stuff that you've never seen before. You know what I mean? Like
I did see a picture where it didn't look like the strap was there.
No, man. I'm having fun with just having the plate. Like I'm having the strap on one shoulder and holding the plate on the other, like I'm a dual champ. It's been a lot of fun. Just like I said.
And now, but the fun comes to an end because it's finally getting repaired.
Yeah, they finally gave me the okay that I have to leave it back there because it's getting fixed. So, yeah. So until then, like I said,
that's a fucking shame though. I hope they triple Scotch guard it if you're going to be the first person to hold the new title, because like the smell of shit would be so hard to get out of that newly strapped belt.
Oh man, I'm hoping that they make something. Hoping that they either make something new or they can make it look like it's never been broken. Like I said, well, we got some good guys working on it, so I'm hoping for the best.
I always get sad when there's a belt change. I'm always like praying they can like repair the existing.
You know, I've seen some things about I don't know, some CWF stuff or whatever, and like I said, I'm super excited. Like I said, I'm with you. I love when belts change. Like the IWPG belt just changed. I thought that was pretty cool. Seeing that, I saw that on social media there.
What do you think of the belt? A lot of people, obviously, I've been seeing draw comparisons to like the Divas belt, Cody Rhodes tattoo. I've even seen the fucking Green Ranger chest piece. That was the best one by far.
It's not even that bad.
I agree with you. I actually fucking love it.
I think it's good. I mean, it's a different look, and I think that's what they're going for. You don't want to do the same thing AEW's do. You don't want to do the same thing WWE's doing.
Like, for me, the IWGP title, though, like as it was already my favorite championship.
Oh yeah.
And like after like taking a week to sit on the new title, the IWGP championship is still my favorite title, but I still like the old one better.
Yeah. No, like I said,
it's nice. It's new. It's a fresh design.
Yeah, they always do good with their belts. I like the IWGP. Even the United States one they had was sweet.
Yeah, no, that's a nice title too. And I don't usually like red straps. I hated it on the Universal title. I didn't like it on the TNT Championship.
But now that I think WWE's done the blue and red strap, and I think it's almost going to come off like a copy now if anybody else tries to do it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're just
trying to do it. For them, it's because it's show specific, right? Like they did it red because it was the Raw title, and then obviously it didn't make sense once the Universal title. Like they set themselves up for that, making it red in the first place with the way they do brand changes.
I love it though. You know what I mean? I think, like I said, a lot of people shit on the new WWE titles when they all came out too, but now you don't hear anything. Everybody's like, "Oh, they're so nice."
I actually fucking like them. Like a lot of people shit on them, and I'm like, man, I must have terrible taste because honestly, like growing up playing fucking video games, the minute there was like a creative belt mode, I shit you not, exactly what the title looks like now is exactly how I used to make it. And then when they did the brand splits, I'd make a red belt and a blue belt. Even though in person, I think they're terrible for video gaming. I'd be like, oh, yeah, this looks cool. And then they finally fucking did it and everybody shit on it. And I was like, oh, maybe that wasn't such a fucking cool idea.
You know what, man? Like I said, I thought it was cool. I've never really had an issue. The only WWE title I think I've actually not really liked lately. And you know what? It shines nice. It's nice. But that United States title is, if they just shrunk it a little bit, like I love the look of it, but I find it's almost like a dinner plate. It's huge.
I love it. And my one buddy's complaint about it is that the word champion was too big.
Like I said, everybody's got whatever they're gonna say. I just think it was too long.
Oh, I like it. It's definitely an upgrade to the existing one. The previous rather. The previous was just not enough gold for me.
Oh man, like I said, everybody's got their own opinions, but the like I said, I don't hate the title. I just, like I said, I think it's a little big. I like the look of it, but if they made it like the same size as the other United States title, it just changed the look like that, I think, man, I would have been 100% behind it.
So yeah, so as we're on the topic of belts, I mean, in the places that I've seen you wrestle since us meeting more specifically. So we've got No Limits Wrestling, where you were the deathmatch champion. I know Casanova Valentine was the last one, but
yeah,
I'd say you were probably the most prominent deathmatch champion they had there. And then you pop up with CWF, NWX there. You're the NWX champion.
Yeah.
PWO, open weight champion. When things get back to normal and we can get in other venues, what belts does Tyler Hill have his eyes on? Where do you want to go next when doors open?
I'd love to have another belt in PWO. Maybe take that, like I said, we're talking about Wade, but maybe take that internet title off him a little bit. It'd be cool to even start a tag thing up. Like I said, I'd be even cool to do even like a hardcore tag piece. Like even if I can see if what happens with me and Cash in the future of PWO and everything like that. But I mean, like, man, if you could get in there, you, me, and Cash, you get like a little 3-way or something going. I think that would be it'd be a cool little twist, something you don't really see every day. Like I said, I'm gonna be really trying to get on a lot more shows as soon as everything opens. So I mean, let's get my foot in the door and see where we take it from there. You know what I mean? I'm gonna start going to some more, like I said, battle art stuff. I'm gonna start going to some Destiny stuff. Like I said, to try to get myself booked on these shows and get my name a little bit bigger than it is now. Like I said, I wouldn't mind trying this out. So.
And any names specifically, like in any of those companies you like face? Like who haven't you faced that you think you'd mesh real good with?
Honestly, like I said, I'm cool with whoever they want to throw at me. I would love to work Mark Wheeler again if I could. Him and I had a banger in PWO. I thought we didn't go crazy, but we did some cool stuff, and I thought that was good. Like I said, if anybody could ever get, like I said, a Paige or Alexander or anything like that, now that they're booked, it's hard. But to get those guys are always in everybody's mentions.
Yeah, that's a big one on a lot of people's list, especially with Ontario, right? They came up here, so I mean, they do well. I mean, rightfully so. Like they're both fucking great acts. So
yeah, like I said, I would love to work with, like I said, Easy is a name I would like to work with. Yeah, I mean, every company's got their guys. Tyson Dukes is one I would love to get in the ring with. I want to see what it's like to go against somebody who's that good. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see if he's just going to show me up, make me look like a freaking bitch, or
are you going to have a great match?
Or are we going to go out there and have a banger? You know what I mean?
I mean, regardless, you're going to look like a piece of shit. Just to rewind that about 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, the Tyler Hill's a piece of shit.
But like, it depends. Like, what brand of shit are you going to smell like?
Yeah, well, exactly. Like I said, I'm hoping we can get a lot more hardcore stuff going on. I feel like my body's starting to become what would you say, uncalloused, if you will.
Yeah, you almost need to develop a shell again.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting on a couple things. That's what I'm hoping No Ring North starts doing some stuff. And it'd even be cool if when the pandemic's over, you get some fans at the No Ring North stuff, like do a circle of fans. Would be.
Well, I know Chad wanted to do that at one point. He was gearing up to do it, and then fucking our restrictions just geared down again.
It's like every time somebody's about to do something, it just punches you right in the nuts. You know what I mean?
Definitely can't wait till we get through all the bullshit.
Yeah, no, I think that they, like I said, say what you want or whatever about everything, but I think once everybody starts getting vaccinated and everything starts really flowing, I think it's still going to be at least a year. But that's just me.
I'm wishful thinking. I got my fingers crossed that at least some sense of normalcy by the summer. And I know everybody's like on a different, on a different stance on it. You're probably one of the first people. Well, I mean, you're only the third person on the show, but you're the first person I've talked to about it that'll actually make the cut on the show, where like everybody's got a lot of different stances. There's a lot of great opinions out there, a lot of good points, a lot of fucking shitty ones too. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, sooner rather than later, fingers crossed, right?
Yeah, nothing better than being a piece of shit to all the wrestling fans and wrestling community. So can't wait for that. I mean, I'm getting a little bored without.
Don't get me wrong. If when No Ring North starts back up, if Tyler Arrow's alive and well, like, I'm willing to take you off the piece of shit list. Maybe, but only because you did the show.
You know what? How about this? How about we'll convince Chad to let us do a match for it. And if you win, you can keep the piece of shit. And if I win, you got to drop it. That'll be the stipulation to the match.
I don't know. That's the stakes are high because like Tyler Hill's a piece of shit has become part of the PD Skillz brand. So I just don't know if I'm willing to let go of that intellectual property quite yet.
Oh man.
Now we're actually less than a week away at the time of recording from Mania. Is that something you're watching?
I always turn on Mania, even if I'm not fully following. I mean, you gotta watch Mania.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know there's people who can't.
Either, you know, like
they can't bring themselves to do it, and they won't. But I mean, for me, that's the day I gotta watch.
It's Mania, man. And you know what? I feel like everybody really goes at Mania. So Mania is one of those ones that you really see what people have. You know what I mean? And like, I don't care if it's not live or if it's live or what happens. I mean, you still get to see these
Anything
guys
you're looking forward to specifically this year at Mania?
Oh man, I don't know. That Roman Reigns match is going to be good. That with Edge and Reigns there, that's going to be.
Yeah, and now Daniel Bryan added to the mix.
Which
have you seen the fucking memes for that?
I'm probably gonna get some heat for this, but I was pissed when Bryan was announced.
A lot of people are, and that's not even a point of getting heat. Where it's just some people thought that was a big enough selling moment. I mean, that's why I asked if you'd seen the memes. Like, I'll send you some of them when we're offline if you haven't seen any of them. But like, it's gotten to the point where people are memeing about it, like me, myself, Irene, and Daniel Bryan, Freddy versus Jason versus Daniel Bryan, Batman versus Superman versus Daniel Bryan. Like, it's some of them are just great.
But like, I just want to know what like those. Reigns is good enough now. Like, I understand maybe like during the Shield days he was still like getting the form of it, feeling it all out.
Reigns, absolutely. I don't think Reigns would be a fucking issue at all.
I think Edge and Reigns would have killed it. I don't know what.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't want to speculate or like what the dirt sheets say. I mean, there's 1,000,001 stories as to why they fucking did it, but like, absolutely. Like, I'm not going to be upset with the match we have because I think it's still got banger potential. I just didn't think it needed to be done.
No, I think if you're going to do something with Edge and Bryan, I think you should have did it after Mania and they could have had their own match. I mean, these are two guys that have both had neck problems, that are both know about that, know that they're got to be safe in there, this and that. And I was even down
like
I would have had a banger, man.
Yeah, I was pissed when they shot down right on air the idea of Reigns doing 2 matches. Because, I mean, Reigns' character's never been hotter. It's an opportunity to defend a title twice during one WrestleMania. And, like, I mean, aside from, you know, things like when Yoko had 2 matches and the Miz had 2 matches, as he was, you know, as they like to put it. But it's the one time that they have an opportunity to do that before things go back to normal. And we could have had 2 really good matches, 2 kind of unique intertwining stories. I don't think they needed the triple threat. They could have did that. They almost told us the better idea. They were basically like, here's the better idea that we're not going with.
You know what? I understand where the opinion is, but here's the other thing that I feel a lot of people don't think of either is where's the credibility in that? You know what I mean? Like, you got Edge and Daniel Bryan, you got Edge and Roman Reigns, or you got either way. You know what I mean? Or however way you want to roll this thing. I mean, if Roman Reigns goes and beats Daniel Bryan, right, and then goes and beats Edge, well, either you're going to make Roman Reigns look like the biggest big guy ever, and he should never lose that belt, or you're making the other 2 guys just look weak, because like technically,
if you do it tastefully, so like so night 1, regardless of what order you throw them, night 1. I don't want to say clean because but I mean, it is Mania. So, I mean, I guess night 1, I'd say Roman Reigns over clean. Because that's
over Bryan, probably.
Yeah, no, like, or whoever wins night 1, if they were to have done it split, that can be a straight up win. And then whatever the second match is, that can be where there has to be, you know, some sort of fluke or out of nowhere win. Or, you know, some way you can keep the other guy strong and still have somebody, you know, come off with a good WrestleMania win.
You see, I like the idea. I would have had that idea, though, and I would have made it more or less like the first night, put Edge and Bryan in a 1-on-1 match. And then the second night, the winner of that faces Reigns. And then nobody looks weak. Nobody looks like they have a problem. Like, that's how I would have did it personally. But, I mean, you want to do it 3-way or you want to do it that way, that's, like I said, WWE's got to have the reason. I mean, they don't really screw too many things up when it comes to storyline stuff. I mean, it all seems to go pretty smooth. So they've got to have some kind of trick up their sleeve or some kind of story happening after Mania for this all to make sense. I mean, and if there's not,
they're doing a good job with it. Like, Daniel Bryan's a hard guy not to like. So you can like as much as the memes come off and the jokes come off about it, like you can insert him in anything. I'm gonna watch it because I like fucking watching him. Like I wanted him to be part of something big for Mania.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, this may not have been the exact way like, but I don't have any other alternatives. So, that's where maybe they were in that position. Like you can't let Daniel Bryan be misused or unused for WrestleMania.
No,
especially
like
after the last couple of years with this comeback. Like you can't take that for granted this time.
But that's the problem, right? Like if you want Bryan in something, you want Bryan to win it, right? You don't want Bryan to lose again, or you don't want him to like. I miss seeing Daniel Bryan get one hell of a push, and I miss seeing a babyface Bryan holding the world title. Like to see that.
And I don't even think he got a push. He just pushed.
Yeah. Daniel Bryan pretty much asserted himself in that position, in my opinion. But like I said, you don't really get to see what's behind the curtain and everything, right? You just gotta kind of roll with the punches.
But at the end of the day, I gotta roll with the punches, and hopefully, it turns out well. Hopefully, everybody at home, ourselves included, gets a good fucking show. I mean, a lot of people have mentioned the lack of star power on this show, but you know what? I've looked back at other WrestleManias, like I think it was 17. That's when it was Cena versus Miz, where I enjoyed the hell out of that show.
So make yourself a star. Who why do you?
Yeah, I look back on that show, and on paper, like I looked at the card. Actually, it was just earlier today because someone had posted about it, and I was like, I wouldn't have been sold on that as a WrestleMania card up at the time. Like it's just sometimes there's those moments that make WrestleMania feel like WrestleMania, regardless of what the card is. So I just hope we get a few of those.
Yeah, I hope there's some cool WrestleMania moments. There are usually always at least one or two that really attract the eye. Like I said, the Boneyard match they had last WrestleMania with Taker and Styles was amazing. Even the Firefly Funhouse match, that match was good.
Yeah,
so
I didn't get that. That one didn't connect for me. There was cool moments in it. I just, at the end of the day, that one didn't totally drive it home for me. There was not enough of the wrestling element.
Wyatt was taking Cena through his past, right? The problem is that Cena's trying to go through his past with the style of hair that he didn't have. Like if Cena was still doing the crew cut thing, he probably could have pulled it off a lot better, this and that. But, it's like I said, it was
good. I got what they were trying to do, and it was entertaining, but like it just wasn't my cup of tea. For me, it's like most country music where I'm like, I know that's good. Like I know that's a good hit. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, and like I said,
it was too far. Opinion. It was too far into the cinematic for me.
Yeah, and like I said, I thought the Boneyard match was my favorite one on the whole card last year. But yeah, I'm super excited to see what they do this year and who's going to impress me this year. Somebody always does. I'm kind of hoping that one of these underdog guys are really show what they can do. Because like I said, if you don't really have a push yet, WrestleMania is always the time to show off what you can do. I mean, this is what brings the best out of everybody. So
yeah,
I love watching WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble. Those are my two favorites. I love watching.
Hopefully that provides a good night for us. Talking about that being a week away, that's what's upcoming in the world. Do you have any like upcoming shows in the next couple months that you're recording?
Well, I mean, we were running every 2 weeks with CWF, but then like I said, this whole thing happened, and I don't know if so. We got to talk to Bylops or Frank does or whatever. They got to figure everything out, but I don't know if we're running or if we're just canceling everything for the next month. I have no idea what the plan is, but I think what Ford said, it's only a month anyways, right? They're only doing it for 1 month.
30. They said 30 days.
So so hopefully that doesn't change, and I would assume as soon as that happens, they open things back up, we can at least do our 10-person shows again, or whatever, and at least start getting some footage, this and that. I think PWO is doing their Pillars thing right now. I know that's I think what they hopefully want to do until things can open back up, but that's going to be one banger of a show too when that whole thing opens. But like I said, you don't know anything until
it's hard. It's
more clear, right?
Everybody's just rolling with the punches right now.
Yeah, like I said, we've gotten pretty lucky with the way that CWF's been able to do things and this and that and being okay to do stuff. So I think for right now, that's kind of what I've got. And then yeah, when things start opening up, I'm going to start going to a lot more shows and try to get my name more out there, and hopefully people will see more of the Canadian bad boy in their life. We'll see.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody needs a good dose of their favorite piece of shit. So hopefully we get to see more of that in the near future. And hopefully we just get back to normal in the near future, and we get to show ourselves to everybody again. But with that being said, I think we'll kind of we'll wrap it up here. I definitely appreciate you being on the show. Look forward to seeing more of you doing what you do and making me hate you, even though I love you as a person. And it's a good look on you. Great to see all the success. But thank you so much for coming on the show and finding time out of your piece of shit schedule to do so. Make sure you check out Tyler Hill wherever you can. PWO, CWF, and their NWX brand. Look them up on YouTube, check them online, get it wherever you can. Again, Tyler, thank you very much for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you. Like I said, shout out to all these guys that hopefully you have on, and I hope the best for this podcast. You do a hell of a job, and I hope that I can be back on again sometime in the near future.
Absolutely. Thank you, brother. All right. Well, this has been episode 2 of the PD Skillz Show. Obviously, I'm PD Skillz. He's a piece of shit, and we're out.
Later.